I'm just going to head into town. I'm pretty cooked after the last couple of days of long rides, so I'm taking my partner's e-bike. Obviously, I've had to lift the seat a little bit, but I thought talk about it because it's an interesting example of an urban bike. So this is a Moustache Lundi 26, and you notice it's a rear battery mount bike. Now, that's important because one thing to call out with any urban bike, sometimes the cheaper ones, they'll have a rear mounted battery, but it means that your bike's got a really light front and a really heavy ass. And the problem with that is it makes your steering a little bit squirrely, and if you're pushing the limits on the bike, all of your weight, including your luggage, is on the rear side rather than the front. Might not be a problem for you, but it's just worth calling out. I do believe Moustache or later generations move the battery into the frame, and I think that tends to be more popular these days, but I'd try and lean that way of buying bikes in the future as having frame-mounted battery rather than a rear-mounted battery. That being said, this is a mid-drive, so the motor's in the middle, which means the weight is thankfully balanced a little bit more than, say, a rear hub motor as well. Urban bike, so you've got your front and rear fenders, which is fantastic, and integrated lighting off the e-bike battery. I wouldn't even consider an e-bike for urban riding that doesn't include integrated lights. It's dirt cheap for a manufacturer to include. There's just no excuse for not including them other than being feature gating for products that they offer, and it's critical for urban riding. You have to have lights. This one's designed for comfort. Super wide seat. I'm not a fan of super wide seats, but saddles are very personal specific. Some people love this, some people hate this, and they'd say, hey, I hate your tiny little seat. So, go figure. It depends what suits. Very easy to step over, step through frame, so you can just step in. Great if you're a little bit on the larger side, you've got a little bit more room to get in. You can, have a fair bit of space between you and the bike, and also very easy to stop at the lights. Just pull up, stick a leg out, away you go, right? Calling out these handlebars, they're very, very upright, great visibility for riding. You can see around you, you can feel the traffic. Very, very good position for urban riding, but you'll notice one big problem. It ain't aero, and so this is fantastic for urban control, safety, visibility. But if you get into more, say, sporty riding, you can quickly outgrow this bike. Probably not an issue. I mean, these urban bikes tend to be bought by people who want to use bikes as a tool to travel and get around, as opposed to hooning across the rocks at full speed. But this is worth calling out. The other thing is this proprietary handlebar setup will limit your options as well, because you can't simply replace it for a generic set of bars because of how it's been designed for this specific bike and frame. I'm not a huge fan of proprietary bars, and I try and ensure my bikes don't use them, whether it's urban bikes or road bikes, but this is a trade of having like a very stylistic machine is, you're adopting some vendor specific tricks. The reason this can also be a problem is even if you're not a sporty rider, you may find that you have ergonomic issues. Maybe this is a bad wrist position for you. Maybe you need to be further out. You can't really change much about this bike once you've already bought it. That being said, it's a stunning bike, looks amazing, and for a lot of riders, it's exactly what they want. I know my partner really enjoys riding it. She finds it very comfortable, good positioning, and the like. Mountain bike style brakes, these are great for especially more novice riders. I still prefer mountain bike style brakes on descents. I'm pretty comfortable for drops these days, but I'm still faster on these kind of brakes. I just find the position really stable, really in control. You can slam them on. And I think your front and rear hydraulics is obviously a fantastic setup. But yeah, I'm going to take it into town, I need to grab some supplies, grab some lunch, and this is a 32k an hour model, so it's a bit faster, so I want to get my lunch home whilst it's still hot. Rear rack, one side is Ortlieb QL3, but these are removable, so the other side was set up for generic use cases, and the top is just generic, unfortunately. The later models, they brought out MIK mounts, so you have the option of the Ortlieb vendor system on one side, or you have an MIK top mount. But what I really like about these, and where Kenyon's commuter lets me down, is on Kenyon's commuter, these are welded. On this, they're removable, and so we can have the option of whatever bag system suits us without having to mod the rack, or worst case, buying a new rack. Anyway, that's that. Oh, I'm looking for an urban bike chain guard. Means I can ride around with my pants on today and my shoes and not worry about getting it covered in grease or getting it caught in the chain system. I think this is a killer feature for urban e-bikes. Again, if you don't know the Moustache brand, they do make really, really nice devices. They're not necessarily the cheapest bang for buck, but they are just excellent made bikes with a lot of attention to detail. Cafe lock, so if you stop for a quick stop, you can lock that in with a key. It's keyed to the same as a battery, which is quite convenient, but they're not super secure, and so use them for things like, I can see the bike, but I'm on the other side of the pub, not for, I'm going to lock it up with this and leave it there for hours on end, because you may not unfortunately have a bike when you get back. Alright, aftermarket bell. I always find that the cheap bells that come with these just don't last. So yeah, got a different one on that.
Oh my lord, people, what have we done? Fucking buses everywhere. Bloody cruise ships, I hate them.
So I mean, yeah, that's for Lundi 26. I'm a huge fan of these little urban bikes. Like, again, not good if you're sporty, but they're fast, they're fun, and extremely effective ways of getting around town. I mean, I went to town, paid $0 in parking, used probably 5 cents of power. It's just super fantastic way of getting around, and with the e-bike assistance in Wellington, it gets rid of those hills from being a problem. This is a Bosch Performance line. It is an older one. It's a like I say 2018 model, but it still flies. I mean, I flew up that hill at 22k an hour. You know, if I'm riding a manual bike, maybe I'll do 10k. 22k is fantastic. I had to work a bit, but I wasn't working exceptionally hard.
Fucking, see what I mean? Absolute menaces.
The nice thing about these bikes is that you can frankly adjust the level of workout that you want to do to whatever suits you and your lifestyle, you know.
Doing 15 in tour uphill. Just chuck it a sport turbo. Oh. The Bosch Performance line is a great motor. Even this older, you know, probably 6-year-old technology, it just climbs up it. It's only 300 watts, but it's just super well engineered. Over context, on my manual bike, I'll do it at maybe 10. I'm literally going twice as fast. Still going to work out a bunch, but not quite the same volume, not quite the same power output.
Probably the only complaint I have with it is quick release rather than free axle. I feel it's just a little bit dated. Free axle I've had better experiences with, but look, it works fine.
Pine needles, these are slippery. You do have to be careful of these. You know, summer, autumn, if you get down on the road and you get wet, long haul Urkawa stuff, it's like a moss layer.
If I was locking up in town all the time, I might consider swapping out the quick release levers for security bolts just to make it a little bit harder, but I always lock it with a chain for the front and a lock for the rear, so it's not easy to steal a wheel anyway. And large ballooning tyres, these are always great for around town. And you also notice this, it's actually a reflective strip, which is good for urban riding, a little bit extra visibility in the night because this whole wheel lights up when the lights hit it. Anyway, I hope you found that review and short jaunt into town interesting. If you've got any questions about urban cycling, hit me up in the comments. And remember to like and subscribe. Cheers.